Look around you. Most people are asleep. They wake up, check their phone, scroll, eat something that's killing them slowly, and then complain about life. They are alive but not living. They breathe, but they are suffocating inside. And do you know the saddest part? They're waiting for someone to inspire them, waiting for someone to drag them out of their misery, waiting for a hero, a savior, a miracle. But let me tell you something raw, something most won't admit. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to fix your life, to light a fire inside your chest, to pull you out of your darkness. If you want to be inspired, if you want to rise, if you want to breathe differently, it has to start with one person, yourself. This speech isn't going to pat you on the back. This isn't going to give you comforting lies. I'm going to say the words that sting, the words that burn, but the words that will wake you up. Because deep down, you already know the truth. If you're not your own inspiration, you will never be anything. Nobody owes you anything. That's the harshest truth you need to swallow if you want to rise above the mediocrity of this world. Too many people walk around with their hands out, waiting for someone to help them, waiting for the government to save them, waiting for their family to support them, waiting for society to feel sorry for them. But here's the reality: nobody is coming to save you, nobody is losing sleep over your struggles, and nobody will hand you success. The world doesn't care about your excuses, your tears, your pain. Life doesn't hand out trophies for suffering. It only rewards those who take responsibility and fight back. If you're broke, nobody is going to come and fill your bank account. If you're weak, nobody is going to drag you to the gym. If you're lazy, nobody is going to push you out of bed. And if you're drowning in your problems, the truth is people will keep walking by. Not because they're cruel, but because everyone has their own battles, their own pain, their own demons. Nobody owes you their time, their energy, or their resources. The sooner you accept that, the faster you grow. You can either keep crying about what you didn't get, about how life isn't fair, or you can stand up and build yourself. You can keep blaming the world, or you can take full ownership of your life. It doesn't matter where you start, it only matters where you decide to go. You may not be responsible for how you were born, but you are responsible for what you become. That's the difference between people who stay stuck forever and those who break free. The truth is, entitlement is poison. It rots your drive, it kills your hunger. It convinces you that the world owes you something just for existing. But the world doesn't owe you respect. It doesn't owe you happiness. It doesn't owe you success. You want respect, earn it. You want happiness, create it. You want success, build it. The moment you realize nobody owes you a damn thing is the moment you unlock freedom. Because when you stop expecting and start creating, you become unstoppable. Every day you wake up, you have two choices: wait for life to hand you something that will never come, or go out there and take it with your own hands. The weak wait, the strong act, the average keep begging, the powerful build. It's that simple. If you want your life to change, stop sitting in the corner, stop pointing fingers, stop waiting for miracles. Miracles don't come to those who wait, they come to those who move. You must decide today that everything you want, everything you dream of, everything you crave will come from your own effort, your own discipline, your own fight. Because nobody owes you anything, and that's the greatest gift life gives you. Pain is the greatest teacher you will ever have in life, yet most people spend their entire existence running away from it. They hide from it, numb it, distract themselves from it, as if avoiding pain will somehow make them stronger. But the reality is the opposite. The truth is that pain is not your enemy. It's your mentor, your trainer, your guide. It is the one thing in this world that forces you to grow. Every lesson worth learning, every strength worth gaining, every ounce of resilience worth building comes wrapped in pain. You don't grow when everything is easy. You grow when life punches you in the gut and you're forced to stand up again. Think about the times in your life when you changed the most, when you became sharper, tougher, wiser. Was it during comfort? Was it when everything was smooth and pleasant? Of course not. It was when you were broken, when you were betrayed, when you were broke, when you failed, when you were left alone, when you felt like giving up. That's when you transformed. Pain carved into you a version of yourself that comfort never could. That's why pain is priceless. The world teaches you with words, but pain teaches you with scars, and scars never lie. But here's the problem. Most people choose to let pain destroy them instead of letting it build them. They feel heartbreak, and instead of becoming stronger, they turn bitter. They experience failure, and instead of using it as fuel, they give up. They taste rejection, and instead of trying harder, they hide from challenges. The difference between the weak and the powerful isn't that the powerful avoid pain. It's that the powerful embrace it. They let it refine them instead of define them. They take the hit, they bleed, they fall, but they use every ounce of suffering as fuel to rise higher. When life hurts you, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Because every blow is a lesson. Failure teaches you persistence. Betrayal teaches you self-reliance. Loss teaches you gratitude. Struggle teaches you strength. Pain is the raw material that shapes greatness. Without it, you'd stay soft, comfortable, and average. With it, you become unbreakable, so stop running, stop hiding. Stop trying to live a life without pain because that life doesn't exist. Embrace the struggle, step into the fire. When pain comes, welcome it like a coach, like a brutal master who knows what you're capable of even when you don't. The next time you fail, remember it's not the end, it's a lesson. The next time you hurt, remember it's not punishment, it's preparation. The next time you're broken, remember it's not destruction, it's construction. Your pain is your greatest teacher, and if you learn from it instead of fearing it, you'll find that every scar becomes proof that you're stronger than anything life throws at you. Discipline is the most misunderstood word in the modern world. People hear it and think it means punishment, restriction, or living like a prisoner. They think discipline means you're not free, that you're trapped in rules, that you're not enjoying life. But the truth is the complete opposite. Discipline is not chains, discipline is wings. Discipline is freedom. Without discipline, you are a slave, and most people don't even realize it. They're slaves to their cravings, slaves to their laziness, slaves to their emotions, slaves to every impulse that controls them. They think they're free because they can eat whatever they want, sleep whenever they want, waste time however they want. But in reality, they're chained. Chained by weakness, chained by addiction, chained by mediocrity. Real freedom comes from self-control. Real freedom is waking up and knowing you own yourself, that your body moves when you tell it to, that your mind listens when you command it, that your emotions don't drag you around like a dog on a leash. Discipline is the key to taking back control of your life. If you can't control what time you wake up, what food you eat, how much you work, what you focus on, then you don't own yourself. The world owns you. The most dangerous human is the one who has mastered discipline, because discipline makes you consistent, and consistency beats talent, luck, and privilege every single time. Anyone can work hard for one day. Anyone can feel motivated once in a while, but discipline is what makes you show up when you're tired, when you're broke, when you're uninspired. Discipline is what makes you unstoppable because it doesn't care about feelings. It doesn't care if you're happy or sad, if you're motivated or empty. Discipline just executes. You want to build a strong body, you need discipline. You want to make money, you need discipline. You want peace of mind. You need discipline. You want freedom. You need discipline. Without it, everything in your life collapses sooner or later. But with it, everything in your life aligns. Discipline is the foundation of every empire, every legacy, every warrior, every champion. And here's the thing, discipline isn't easy, it's uncomfortable. It's waking up when you want to sleep. It's saying no when everyone else is saying yes. It's putting in the work when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, when nobody cares. But that's exactly why it makes you powerful, because the more discipline you master, the fewer people there are willing to walk beside you. That's why the disciplined rise while the undisciplined stay stuck. If you want true freedom, stop chasing pleasure, stop chasing comfort, stop chasing the easy path. Build discipline like your life depends on it, because it does. Every rep in the gym, every early morning, every sacrifice adds up to a life where you are in command. Discipline is the key that unlocks freedom. Without it, you're just another slave. With it, you're a king. Loneliness is one of the most feared states of the human mind. People avoid it like it's a disease. They drown themselves in distractions, surround themselves with noise, chase people they don't even like, and cling to relationships that kill them just because they're terrified of being alone. But what they don't realize is that loneliness is not weakness, loneliness is power. It is in loneliness where you discover who you really are. It is in loneliness where you stop wearing the masks you put on for the world and face your raw, unfiltered self. And the truth is, most people can't stand themselves. That's why they run. They can't be alone in a room with their own thoughts, because deep down they know they've been living a lie. The strongest people in history, the leaders, the warriors, the creators, all understood the strength of solitude. Because when you strip away the noise, the opinions, the approval seeking, you are left with nothing but your mind, your vision, your truth. That's where clarity lives. That's where focus sharpens. That's where power is born. But people miss it because they see loneliness as a curse instead of a gift. They think being alone means being unloved, unwanted, forgotten. Wrong. Being alone means you're training. Being alone means you're sharpening the blade. Being alone means you're removing weakness. Look at a lion. A lion doesn't need a crowd to roar. A lion doesn't need validation. A lion doesn't beg the sheep for approval. The lion walks alone and commands respect. That's what loneliness can give you if you embrace it. It teaches you self-sufficiency. It makes you realize that you don't need anyone to validate your existence. It forces you to build your own inspiration, your own identity, your own strength. And once you master being alone, nobody can control you anymore, because the world controls people through their fear of being alone. That's why they stay in toxic friendships, toxic relationships, toxic environments. They would rather suffer surrounded by people than face the silence of solitude. But when you break that fear, when you learn to enjoy the silence, you become untouchable. Loneliness is a mirror. It shows you your weaknesses. It shows you your addictions. It shows you the lies you tell yourself. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But if you lean into it instead of running from it, you'll find something most people never discover: complete independence. Imagine not needing constant validation, not needing constant company, not needing constant noise. Imagine walking into the world knowing that whether people cheer you or boo you, you're solid. That's power. So don't fear loneliness. Embrace it. Sit with it. Use it. Build yourself in the quiet while the rest of the world drowns in distraction. Because when the time comes, when you've sharpened yourself in silence, you'll step into the world with a strength that speaks louder than any crowd. Loneliness is not emptiness. Loneliness is the forge where greatness is created. The truth is, if you need someone else to constantly inspire you, you're weak. If your motivation depends on a YouTube video, a speech, or someone clapping for you, then you will never last. Because motivation fades, applause dies, and people move on. Inspiration that comes from the outside is temporary. But inspiration that comes from within, from your own fight, from your own blood, from your own journey, that's unshakable. That's why you must inspire by yourself. Think about it. The greatest moments in your life were not when someone else pushed you. They were when you pushed yourself. They were the nights when nobody was watching and you still kept going. They were the mornings when nobody cared whether you got up, but you got up anyway. They were the days when quitting would have been easier, but you refused to stop. That's real inspiration. That's the kind that lasts. Most people are addicted to external motivation. They wait for a friend to hype them up, a mentor to guide them, a partner to encourage them. And when those voices disappear, they collapse. But a warrior doesn't need the crowd. A warrior doesn't need approval. A warrior doesn't wait for someone to say, "You can do it." A warrior wakes up, looks in the mirror, and says, "I will do it because I refuse to fail." That's the mentality you need to build. When you learn to inspire yourself, you become unstoppable, because then it doesn't matter if people support you or laugh at you. It doesn't matter if you're surrounded by love or by hate. It doesn't matter if life is easy or brutal. You keep moving forward because your fire comes from within. You fuel yourself, you drive yourself, you lift yourself, and here's the beauty of it. Once you master inspiring yourself, you automatically inspire others without even trying. People will see you fighting alone, grinding alone, suffering alone, and still winning. And they'll feel something shift inside them. They'll look at you and realize they're capable too. But if you want that kind of power, you must start now. Stop waiting for the right words, the right timing, the right push. There is no right time. The right time is this very second. You are alive now. You are breathing now. You have a choice now. Either keep waiting for inspiration like a beggar, or create it like a king. Push yourself into the fire, demand more from yourself than anyone else ever will, and prove to yourself that you don't need saving. The most dangerous person in the world is the one who has mastered self-inspiration. Because no matter what happens, failure, rejection, betrayal, loneliness, they never stop. They don't collapse when the world turns its back. They don't give up when nobody cheers. They don't need a savior. They look in the mirror and see one. You want to live a life that shakes the ground, inspired by yourself. That's how legends are made. Life is short, and most people waste it waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for motivation to strike, waiting for a savior who never comes. But I'm telling you right now, stop waiting. The world owes you nothing. Pain is coming whether you like it or not. But pain is also your greatest teacher. Discipline is the key that unlocks the freedom you're craving, and loneliness is the training ground where warriors are built. And at the center of it all, the one truth that will never change: you must inspire yourself. Look in the mirror. That reflection is not weak, it's not broken, it's not average, unless you accept it to be. That reflection is the only person who can turn your dreams into reality. No coach, no mentor, no idol can do it for you. They can spark something for a moment, but the fire has to come from you. You want power, you want success, you want respect. Stop begging for it, earn it, bleed for it, fight for it. Every day you have a choice. You can live like the rest, complaining, waiting, blaming, or you can rise. You can be the exception. You can be the one who faces pain head on, who masters discipline, who grows in silence, who inspires without needing applause. And when the world asks you who gave you the strength, you'll smile and answer, "I gave it to myself." That's real freedom. That's real strength. That's what separates the average from the great. So stop waiting. Stop wishing. Stop expecting. Get up. Look yourself in the eye and say with absolute certainty, "I am my own inspiration." And once you believe that, nothing in this world can stop you.